Hello, everyone. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful day out there. Today, we'll take a look at Johnny Hates Jazz Turn Back the Clock, released January 11th, 1988. And these guys had their main hit here in the US, Shattered Dreams. And maybe some people, that's kind of what they know about them, and maybe it kind of starts and ends there. But this whole record's pretty good and kind of has that Shattered Dreams sound to it, with was that late 80s sort of synth pop with some piano. And it is interesting that they're called Johnny Hates Jazz, but it has some jazzy influences to it more than maybe pop. It has pop there obviously, but I think these guys were a little bit of a step up than a lot of some of the pop acts that were coming out in the late 80s. Well, anyways, this record, I really do enjoy it. And if you haven't heard the whole thing, or maybe you've just heard Shattered Dreams, you'd want to check out the whole record because there's really nothing bad on it. All the songs really sound very well crisp and well produced, and just really good pop of the late 80s with some jazz and a little bit of rock thrown in. But anyways, the album kicks off with Shattered Dreams, obviously. And I remember being like a metalhead like when this kind of came out, but even this song I thought was so catchy and good that it kind of definitely drew me in. Like, man, this is cool, even though I was kind of, listening to metal. Like, I wouldn't let my friends know I was listening to other things, but this was one song. Even today, when it comes on the radio, you got to crank up Shattered Dreams because it's such a great pop song. Then they go into Heart of Gold, not to be mistaken for Neil Young's Heart of Gold. But anyways, there's a nice shuffle. It's got some horns. Once again, they do have some in a lot of these songs, the jazzy kind of horns going in the background. Not overdone, but it's just there to enhance the music. Then you have, Turn Back the Clock, and like another mid-tempo kind of song, jazzy pop, and they all kind of have similar jazzy pop. Maybe sounds. Some of these songs kind of remind me of what Rod Stewart was putting out in this time period. That kind of sound, but maybe a little better, I guess is the only word I can say. Like, I just think these songs were generally better than what Rod had at the time, even though Rod had some good songs at that time. Then you go Don't Say It's Love, another good song. What Other Reason is kind of a slower song. It's got a great piano. And as I go through this record, their big hit here was Shattered Dreams, but there's so many other songs on here that could easily have been radio hits, but for whatever reason they just weren't, or wherever, I'm in the US, so maybe they just weren't popular here. But then you go I Don't Want to Be the Hero. It's a good solid pop tune. Then another tune, Listen, which is another good one, kind of a darker sort of sound to it. You have Different Seasons, a slower song, cool. Don't Let It End This Way, great pop song, and Me and My Foolish Heart, another good tune. So literally every song on here is really good, and I'm super surprised that out of all these songs, this couldn't have been one of those records that had, at least four hit songs on it besides Shattered Dreams. Like when you listen to those records by people like, I don't know, Def Leppard, like Hysteria, it's got a whole bunch of songs that had videos and they were hit songs and they just got played all the time. This is kind of in that realm. And it's obviously not Def Leppard because there isn't the guitar in there, but maybe a good way to describe this is sort of kind of that sound minus the guitar. But I actually like this record a lot. And if you're out there and you've never heard it before, I think you should take a listen to it because it's very good. And I still see these guys occasionally on YouTube doing live shows, and they still really sound great. And the guy, if I'm saying his last name right, Clark Datchler, he still sings good, and he's a good front man for that band, and band sounds great. This is an awesome record, so take a listen to it. Hopefully you enjoy it. Have a great day wherever you are in the world. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.